The man had a gun in his hand, and it was pointed at my wife. She didn't flinch. She didn't blink. She simply raised an eyebrow and said, "You sure you want to do that, officer?" He didn't know it yet, but that wasn't just my wife standing in the doorway. That was Sheriff Rebecca Monroe. And this clown had just made the worst mistake of his pitiful, self-appointed HOA life. It started with a mailbox. A bright orange notice was slapped on it, taped so sloppily it looked like it wanted attention from a satellite. Notice of noncompliance. Mailbox paint out of regulation hue. Correct within 72 hours. No phone number. Just a tacky logo reading, East Summit Neighborhood Safety Board. It sounded like something out of a suburban thriller written by someone with a clipboard fetish. We lived here all of 5 days. Still had boxes in the garage, hadn't figured out the garbage schedule, and barely knew where the light switches were. Rebecca found me staring at the notice with my coffee cooling in my hand. "They don't like our mailbox," I muttered. She skimmed the paper, raised an eyebrow. "What's the regulation hue?" "Beige with a superiority complex." We laughed and tossed it aside, until the second notice arrived. This time, they were fining us $125 for vehicle violation, driveway obstruction. Rebecca's SUV, parked in our driveway, not blocking anything, not angled weird, just parked. Did we buy into a gated community and not realize it? I joked, but Rebecca was already at her laptop, quiet when suspicious. She opened our deed and pointed to the bolded line. "This property is not subject to any active homeowners association." "So who the hell are the East Summit Neighborhood Safety Board?" I asked. She saved the file as evidence, no HOA.pdf, and got to work. The next morning, I saw a man across the street snapping pictures of our garage with a telephoto lens. He wore a shiny badge and a utility belt that looked like cosplay from a low-budget cop show. He walked over. "Afternoon," he said, puffing his chest. "Sergeant Daniels, East Summit Neighborhood Safety Board." I wiped sweat off my brow. Didn't know we had one. He flashed a laminated card. It looked official until I spotted the expiration date. December 2021. It was 2025. "We handle compliance issues," he said. "You've had a few already. We'll need to inspect your garage." I actually laughed. "Not happening. Unless you've got a warrant or a time machine, move along." He pulled out a pad and scribbled something. "Non-cooperation will be noted." Rebecca didn't laugh when I told her. She pulled up county maps, cross-referenced the East Summit plat, and called the clerk. "Nothing. No HOA. No watch group. Nothing legally registered." "This is fraud," I said. "And harassment," she added, already typing into a document titled Board Watch, Initial Report. I wanted to report it. Rebecca wanted evidence. She's a tactician, a former sheriff with a reputation for exposing public corruption. "Let them think we're suburban sheep," she said. "We'll set the trap." That night, we installed 4 motion-activated cameras, above the garage, in the eaves, the mailbox post, and a porch lantern. By day 4, we caught him again. Daniels, taking pictures of our trash bins, measuring the distance from the hedges to the curb. Then he dropped another orange notice. "Final warning, non-compliant landscaping." That night, we zoomed in on his badge. Aluminum. Cheap. His radio? A Bauphone programmable. Not legal for police use. Not registered. "He's impersonating law enforcement," Rebecca said. "A felony. On camera. On our porch." 2 days later, another man showed up, photographing our backyard through the fence. Pattern. Rebecca mapped it out. Mailbox. Vehicle. Landscaping. Trespass. Each violation dressed in fake authority. "They're creating an illusion," she said, banking on people being too polite to question it. "Wrong house," I said. Sunday, they escalated. Rusty gray SUV screeched onto our driveway. Orange cones dropped. Megaphone screeched. "This property is under active inspection by the East Summit Neighborhood Safety Board. Please remain inside." Rebecca wiped her hands on a towel and stepped to the door. "Are they serious?" she asked. 3 men in surplus tactical pants stepped out. Daniels again, clipboard in hand. The others had utility belts with multi-tools and walkie-talkies. Earpieces not connected to anything. You're blocking my driveway, I said, recording. Legal inspection, Daniels barked. 3 violations. Hedge height, trash bin, signage. This signage was a wooden welcome sign from a craft fair. There is no HOA, I reminded him. One of the deputies stepped up. Sir, ID please. For what? Failure to comply. The other began filming, muttering into a dead mic. Subject agitated, possibly armed. I held up pruning shears. Rebecca walked outside. Calm, silent, watching. Then she saw his badge. The eagle was reversed. Star had 6 points instead of 7. It mimicked her department's badge. They were impersonating her. She didn't speak yet, just watched him, cold and calculating. You boys always flash that on private property? Daniels puffed his chest. This badge gives me authority. Rebecca smiled politely. Interesting. They took more pictures, handed us a stapled fine schedule and pamphlet titled Community Code Book is Summit Edition. No author, no date, just threats. That night, we archived the footage. Rebecca leaned over the evidence. They tried to copy my badge, she said. That's not just trespassing. That's second-degree felony impersonation. And maybe extortion. Neighbors started coming forward, whispering, showing fake fines. Ellen paid $150 for porch lights. Jim was fined for a football banner. A family was warned over a trampoline. Rebecca created a secure drive. Photos, interviews, documents. We redacted victims, but not the enforcers. Daniels, McCrae, Hollowell. They mailed us another citation. This one accused Rebecca of impersonating an officer. That was it, Rebecca said. Time to go to the meeting. They held it at an old rec center. We verified. The original HOA had been dissolved in 2006. The room had folding chairs, a projector, Daniels lounging at the wall. The board president looked like a waxy game show host. Tonight, we vote on fence heights and vehicle restrictions, he said. Who gave you that authority? I asked. We're volunteers, he said. Rebecca held up a photo of Daniel's fake badge. The room went silent. Daniel snapped. We don't answer to civilians. I do, Rebecca said. Big problem with all this. Daniel stepped forward, pulled out what looked like a gun. Back up, he barked. Rebecca didn't blink. She stepped forward. I am Sheriff Rebecca Monroe. Put down the weapon. Silence. Then the gun dropped. A pellet gun, but it didn't matter. She took the projector remote and shut it down. This board is dissolved, she announced. Effective immediately. Daniel was arrested 5 minutes later. Real deputies swarmed in. They confiscated badges, ID booklets, and the infamous binder labeled escalation protocols. Stage 4? Tactical deterrent. Brandish weaponry to encourage compliance. Rebecca wasn't smiling. Neighbors cried. Some had paid hundreds. Others feared eviction. All were victims. Rebecca didn't stop. She hosted a town hall. Full uniform. Badge shining. There is no HOA, she said. No authority behind the citations. And no more fear. She laid out photos. Fake citations. Plastic badges. One neighbor had paid $900. Another was fined for a child's birthday. Every fine would be refunded. Every enforcer held accountable. Sergeant Daniels? Real name, Gregory Dalton. Felony impersonation. Trespass. Assault. Fraud. The board president? Embezzled over $32,000 through a fake PayPal portal. Registered to his nephew. They were building a fraud empire. One violation at a time. Now it was rubble. Rebecca stood outside that night, shaking hands. Taking names. Rebuilding trust. A week later, Daniels was perp walked down our street. I watched him pass our mailbox. Rebecca had framed his final violation. It hangs in her office. Above it in bold ink. Nice try.